All right, we're back. Jerry, let's go to my very next guest. We're running short on time, so I want to go right away to Dr. Bobby Brown, who is the president of the American League. I'm sure you're familiar with him. Actually played for the New York Yankees back in the late 40s. So let's see if we can get Dr. Brown on the line. Yeah, Dr. Brown, please.
Yes.
Yes, how are you, Dr. Brown? This is Rick Mide from the Rick Mide Sportscast.
Hi, Rick.
Thank you very much for taking time out of your busy schedule and for being a guest on our program tonight. I have a lot of questions, so let's get started right away. How are you today?
I'm just fine.
Great. Listen, I have all the stats in front of me. We're talking about Robert William Doc Brown, M.D., played for the New York Yankees from 1946 to 52. Was
54.
54, but you were in the military in 53, correct?
Right.
Let me ask you, because a lot of our...
I played 54.
Pardon me?
I came back and played 54.
Right, so you actually 46 to 54 with 1 year in the military.
Right.
Let me ask you something. How in the world do you become an MD when you're a baseball? How did that all come about?
Well, I was halfway through medical school when I went into professional baseball, and then I was able to combine my work during the winter. After I got through with the baseball season, I'd go back to school, and I would stay in school till the season started the next year, and then report to the Yankees.
Mm-hmm. You know, there are only a handful of people out there like you who have the physical ability to play professional sports and play with the top athletes in the world, and to have the super intelligence and dedication to become a medical doctor. What type of medical doctor are you, by the way?
Well, I was an MD, and I was a cardiologist in Fort Worth, and I practiced there for 26 years.
I can only think of a handful of other guys. We were very fortunate to have Ron Taylor on the program tonight as well.
Right.
He is now team physician with the Blue Jays. He was on earlier with us.
Right.
So then how did you wind up being the American League president? How did that come about?
Well, they contacted me in 1983 to see if I might want to interview for the commissioner's position, which was open at the time, and I came up and talked to the search committee a couple of times, and the search committee then felt that they wanted to have somebody become commissioner that had a business background, and Peter Uberoth was selected, but then they asked me if I wanted to become the president of the American League, and I accepted.
This may sound like a dumb question, but do you still practice your medical? I mean, you do all these things. You're like, I'm curious, do you still practice medicine? Do you miss it at all?
Well, I miss medicine, of course, but I'm busy doing what I'm doing, and it's been very interesting. So I think the transition has been very pleasant for me. I don't practice now. You can't practice part-time, and so I have been retired from medicine since 1984.
I tell you, you talk about cardiology. They could use you on the field. Some of these games that give you a heart attack. Some of the games have been exciting. I'm thinking about the World Series the last 2 years with the Twins and, of course, the Blue Jays. Let me ask you something. What is the role? I'm sure my listening audience would like to know. What is the role of the American League president?
Well, it's quite varied. First, you know, we're on it with the presidents are on every baseball committee, so they're in the decision-making process of everything that occurs in baseball. We make out the schedule for the clubs. We hire the umpires and make out their schedule. We take care of on-field discipline. We collect the gate receipts and divide it. And we take care of all of the internal matters that come up with 14 separate entities, being the 14 clubs. So
right.
We have a busy plate.
Is your role expanded without a commissioner in baseball at this time?
Not really. Basically, we pretty much do what needs to be done as far as the league is concerned, and we run pretty much on our own. And as I said, we're involved in all of the affairs that go on in baseball because of our committee work, and that has proceeded so that my work has not either been materially added to or subtracted from, since we don't have a permanent commissioner at this point.
My guest is Dr. Bobby Brown, who is the president of the American League of Major League Baseball. Let me ask you this. Do you aspire to be the commissioner?
Oh, no. I'm slated actually for retirement in December of this year, and I probably will be going back to Texas at that particular time.
You know what I wanted to ask you, I forgot before, we were talking about your playing career with the Yankees. What position did you play?
Well, I was a third baseman.
I thought so. I wasn't sure. Third base, right?
Right.
So, who are some of your better friends from those teams back in the late 40s and the early 50s?
Well, the nice thing about the Yankee teams then was that we were all good friends. Everybody got along extremely well together, and we've essentially remained friends throughout our lifetime. So all of the members of those clubs have been good friends for many, many years.
Let me give you the line on Dr. Bobby Brown, the player. 279 lifetime hitter, played in 548 games, 279 lifetime, 22 homers, 237 RBIs, but this is the key stat. Only 88 strikeouts and over 1,600 at-bats. You were a contact hitter. Big guy, too. 6'1", 180, right? Left-handed hitter?
Yeah, that's correct. You know, basically I didn't strike out much, and I was essentially a line drive hitter, so that worked to my advantage.
I'm sorry, I didn't get a chance to see you play. You know, I'm a little younger, I guess. Let me, my days go back to the 60s and 70s. Let's talk about realignment and expansion. They're talking about having 3 divisions now down the road?
Well, they're looking at different scheduling formats. They're trying to tailor things to what the majority of fans would like. One of the options that they're looking at is expanded playoffs with an extra round, and either having 4 teams from each league participate in the playoff, 2 from each division if there were 2 divisions, or having 3 divisions and having the winners of the 3 divisions plus 1 wild card play in those playoffs. So they're looking at those options to see if they're feasible and if the fans would prefer that particular format.
What cities are pursuing expansion in the American League at this time? I know you're looking at a few different cities. Does New Jersey have a shot?
Well, we don't have any really concrete expansion plans at the present time. The National League has just assimilated 2 new clubs, and the expansion talk has not been rife right now. It may heat up again in the future, but right now I think things are pretty quiet as far as expansion is concerned.
Let me ask you this. I'll put you on the spot a little bit. Actually, let me put you on the spot as I do all my guests. It's the trademark of my show. Who is your favorite team? Who do you root for?
Well, I don't really root for anybody. I have to be totally neutral.
We know that, but come on, off the cuff, come on.
Well, there isn't any such thing as off the cuff. Really, basically, I try to. I'm mostly interested in the clubs that haven't done well over the previous 2 or 3 seasons. So I sort of have a secret hope that they will do better, and so I usually root for the teams that haven't done well.
And coincidentally, the New York Yankees are one of those teams. How about that?
Well, that's right. They didn't do very well last year, but I think they're improved this year, and hopefully they'll have a better record.
What about the issue of the designated hitter? Of course, the American League uses the DH. The National League hasn't, never has. Goes back 20 years now, the DH, is the 21st season. How do we resolve that issue? What do you think is the way to resolve that?
Well, I'm not sure it needs to be resolved. Things seem to be progressing pretty well with both leagues doing what they prefer. We take votes from time to time, whether our owners like it or dislike it, and so far they've always voted in favor of it. So at least for the foreseeable future, the American League will probably continue to have it.
Don't you see it being not necessarily an obstacle, but some kind of, it's an issue only because the National League doesn't use it, creates a problem World Series time?
Well,
do you see it as a problem?
It's something we've been able to work around, and it's not maybe the most ideal solution, but I think it's the most rational one that we can take right now. And the designated hitters used in the American League parks and not used in the National League parks, and that seems to be a compromise that's worked reasonably well over the last 4 or 5 years.
Right. Well, the problem I see is, first of all, you're putting pitchers up to bat that bless you, we're putting pitchers up to bat here in the the playoffs, the World Series actually. These guys are, they haven't practiced, jeopardizing their career. They get hit by a pitch. It's not an ideal situation. And then on the other hand, National League, the rosters aren't set compensating for the DH. So it kind of creates a two-way problem, I see, for both leagues.
Well, it's a problem, but I think both leagues have been able to adapt to it.
You're in favor of the designated hitter?
Well, I do what the owners want me to do.
But I'm asking your personal opinion. Do you?
Well, again, I just tell you, I do what the owners want me to do.
Okay. Let's change the subject a minute. I want to ask you about minor league baseball on Long Island. You're familiar with the Yankees trying to move their Albany team down here to Suffolk County. Obviously, the Mets over in the National League rejected it. What are your feelings? Do you think Long Island should have a minor league baseball team?
Well, the way I look at it, the question actually was whether Albany should give up their minor league team to go to Long Island. And I tried to look at it from the standpoint of who needs baseball the most. Some people on Long Island, the people in Albany. And I think that's what the issue came down to. It wasn't the fact that the Mets rejected it. They objected to it, but they didn't reject it. The big question was, could Albany give up minor league baseball in favor of the team going to Long Island, where they have a major league team within striking distance and people can watch Major League Baseball? That was the issue.
Well, I'll tell you, me as a fan, personally, I'd rather see Brian Taylor pitch than one of the Mets' $1 million stars. But that, again, comes from the fans' point of view. And I know the fans ultimately are what's at stake, what we're looking to make the fans happy. And it's sad because I've been a Long Island native my whole life, and I'd like to see it. I think it's really comparing apples and oranges. I don't think minor league baseball and Major League Baseball is the same brand of baseball, and I think you're looking at two different products.
How would you like to be in Albany and have your team move?
Well, we'll find them another team. Hey, listen, look at the poor Washington Senators, right? They keep moving out all over the place. I just want to ask you one more question, Doctor. Dr. Brown, should we call you Dr. Brown?
Anything you want.
Okay, Bobby, my pal Bob. What are the key issues in baseball or in the American League for 1993? Where do you see baseball 12 months from now?
Well, I think some of the key issues are one, the selection process is now going on to find a commissioner. I think that's important. I think it's important for Major League Baseball to define exactly what that commissioner needs to do. I think the next issue, of course, is getting an agreement with the Players Association as far as the Major League agreement is concerned, and I think the negotiations need to be ongoing with both groups. And hopefully we'll be able to come up with some type of solution to the compensation problem and the problems that baseball has economically with their expenses beginning to outreach their income.
Can you throw any names into the hat for the new commissioner?
No, I don't have the slightest idea who's interested or who the search committee is thinking about talking to.
Are you involved in that committee?
No, I'm not on that committee.
Not on that committee.
Right.
My guest has been Dr. Bobby Brown, who is the president of the American League, former Yankee player, and medical doctor, as we found out. Dr. Brown, I want to thank you tremendously for taking time out of your busy schedule to be a guest on the Rick Mide Sportscast.
I'm pleased to do it. Thank you for asking me.
Thank you, Dr. Brown.